putting on some bangers. INTC being my only loss and my largest loss here today, trading 3 names, Uber, INTC, and BX. So if we had the eliminate and we didn't get as aggressive as I did on INTC, then we would have a really, really good day. But once again, just having a lot of faith in myself to be able to climb back and head things back to Greensboro. But we don't want to force anything. It is now 2 o'clock, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Finish it off.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Trade safe. And send it over to the big boys. Take it easy.
Sirs.
All right. Yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, good show there. Good midday show. I hope you guys
like the comment.
Oh yeah, enjoyed that. I got to get into the other chat right now. I'm short 3 names: Intel, Google, and Micron right now. So I don't know. Hopefully it can continue to work. We're still short Intel from that first top there, and covered. You can tell when I got back from the gym, started covering, and then right back down in. We just bounced off VWAP nicely right there to head back into the downside. And oh boy, did we have a fun ride with Google. I was trying to short that initial pop, just kept on going. Eventually, we were able to make a little bit of money long, and then we just shorted it once it looked like some of the steam was potentially out of that trade, and so now we are short. We're $1 in now, short Google at 325. So let's just wait as we, we get our inner OB on this one and trade this back down to the downside. So here it goes, man. Here comes Google coming back in nicely right now. You put some more bids on here, but yeah, good midday show. Some talk about paper trading and whatnot. Micron also short. We'll talk about that as we go. But yeah, just short here in the afternoon right now. I don't know, man. The Nasdaq up another 0.5%. Nothing seems to be slowing this market down.
Yeah, but it's putting in lower highs. The other thing too, we keep talking about the Nasdaq.
Yep.
But I think at least for right now, we should pay attention to like the ES because we lost 7,000. So you broke 7,000, big psychological level on the S&P futures, and then head and shoulders underneath that 700K. Sorry. 700K, 7,000 level as we're going lower. So it feels to me like we've made a bit of a turn. I'm just an open. I am on the offer to try to get back into IBIT. That broke the low of the day and got the target. Oh yeah, there was, well, you guys, if you're transitioning from the midday, then you know about what happened with Blackstone and the president saying they're going to crack down on institutions buying single family homes or continuing or buying more, I think was the exact phrasing. So Blackstone, I mean, BX came all the way back, but of the things that reacted to the news, I always look at it this way: like, what's the different thing? Like, as I saw Blackstone coming back, I didn't see it happening with Open Door. Like, Open Door was hanging off the lows, and Blackstone was all the way back in. That being said, I'm going to be out of this in like 3 cents because it's pulled all the way back into the $6 level, which is a big support level. So BX came down, and I don't understand why it would come all the way back. You would think that that's the kind of news that would maybe cause it to be a little bit weak, but yeah, we went into Open Door because it was relatively weak, and I might have bounced off 5s here. This has gone to target. I don't mind jumping out of it, but the next thing I'm going to look at is try to get back into IBIT on trend. It has been bouncing in front of, it's like 90,000, like 800-ish. Right around 91, like not 91 exactly, but on IBIT it had been bouncing right around 51.5. Now it looks like it's broken down. So I'm going to try and short this off of the prior low to jump back into that trade. I also have a question for everybody. I don't know where that came. I don't know how the conversation came up. I don't know how we got into movies. I'm trying to remember how we got to movies because we sat down and like before we came on, Sean and I were randomly talking about movies.
No, they were talking about
They were talking about something. And then we were talking about movies. And then somehow it came to the Oscars because it went on to this Marty Supreme.
Yeah, because of Kevin O'Leary, I think.
Oh, because of Kevin O'Leary.
Someone in the chat. Oh, no, it was Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
So that came up somehow. Anyways, I don't know.
Anyways, my question is, who's seen this thing that's one battle after another that is a 78% chance to win Best Picture? Now, I know what Marty Supreme is. We had Kevin on, and there's been conversations about it. I've seen Sinners. I think it's solid. If you haven't seen it already, then I won't spoil it by comparing it to a movie that we all know that basically copied, but that's fine. It's still entertaining. But I do not know this film, and I haven't seen it. So quickly, where can I watch it? That's what I want to know. Like, where would I watch one battle after another? Seems like it has a great cast, and is it any good? is the other thing. Like, should I bother watching it?
I mean, it must be good if it's 80% chance of winning best picture.
I'm not.
But yeah, I mean, you might not like the way. It's funny the way because some films you watch you don't enjoy, but they win all the awards. You know,
Yeah,
so I think
exactly.
it's like how it's shot, what that all looks like,
We'll
and
see. I'm not-
things. But you know, that cast of that movie was absolutely huge.
HBO Max?
We are going to have the rundown. Someone's probably Crave then if it's HBO Max. Soon to be Netflix. All right, so let's just wait to see. Yeah, Netflix. So Netflix. I was going to say, what's Netflix doing today? How about zeros on the board? It did have a nice move to start the day right away and then back into 90. I bought 90 flat yesterday or in this area. So looks like that's coming back in again. You might be able to buy Netflix on the cheap as we continue to go. $2 in the money on Intel, 40 cents on Micron. Micron's an interesting name today. So we just actually went back into, so now we have another, I mean, it's the same trade. We've been shorting it underneath sort of the 200 period right into there, and we wanted to give it a little bit of room back up. So 341 or so on the breakout of Micron to be able to get stopped out of that trade. So a good little reload there. We'll take a piece out at the quarters if we can. So a nice move down there it is. We get that fill at the quarter. And then it pops back up a little bit, so nice little fill there. And then we'll wait to see now if we do tick lower. The 50 period is right there at 339. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of love there. We've already ticked down on Micron, down 1.8%. I mean, how the mighty has fallen, not yet. We'll wait to see if Micron eventually pulls itself back into reality a little bit. But I mean, the reality is the demand for these things continue, the chips, the memory. The problem with SanDisk is the spread is like 30 or 40 cents, if not even more than that if you're looking for 100 shares. So that's 60 cents there. So just by the spread, you're losing $60. Probably not great unless you lower your share size. I mean, everything is just a share size problem. It has nothing to do with the spread. And then WDC, that's another name that we could watch out for. I don't know, Western Digital getting hit much more than any of those other two names. So we'll see if Micron can hopefully follow suit and continue to make a downside push for me. So yeah, that's what we're doing. 207. We're going to get Niels and IBIT. We've been talking about the Bitcoin short for a minute, near 91,000 now. I don't know how low it actually got today, but we can have a quick look at that.
Yeah, I just jumped back into it. Actually, I know because we always look at
It's got a
IBIT
great
and then we
Google
end up
film.
not talking about the actual prices. So I have 90,000. I think I said 90,008 was where it was kind of hanging out, but the low is 90,660 or something like that. But we are, like, to me, we're breaking down off this support on Bitcoin. So I just hopped back into IBIT, and I think we have a little bit more. I mean, I don't think we're going to necessarily see 90,000 even here today, but you know, like Bitcoin's weak when the market is somewhat strong. And I want to say strong. And you can't even say that. Like the ES is flat. The Nasdaq is up 0.5 point, but the ES is pretty flat, like 0.09 at all. So yeah, ultimately want to stay with the things that are relatively weak if we can. I was just checking out WDC as you mentioned it there, but I did hop out of open. And I feel like there might be a second leg to this. Maybe not today, but Open Door. The other day we were talking about how it broke that trend. Well, it got right to $7, couldn't break it. It just couldn't break past that 50-period moving average, so like it's closed in this little mini gap, and we're right back retesting the lows. Still seems like this has a date for that 200-period moving average, the way it's going. It can't make that secondary push. It just can't get through the hump of the 50-period moving average, unfortunately. So, you know, we'll keep track of it. And make sure you get I always say, like, make sure you get your names in, type in the dollar signs for sure. But then I see, like, I look up and, like, there's, like, one symbol. I don't even know. Someone's spamming in there with the dollar sign.
We both got on these little quarter zip type of things today.
I wore a lot of these.
Some nice vest game. Our vest is from yesterday. I'm actually gonna go get that ice.
One of these
vest.
days we should just all rock the vest.
Yeah, when Mark comes in, we'll like, kind of like we'll scare him a little bit. We'll all wear them, and he'll be like, "What the?" Micron, we just got 339. So right now Micron is. So right now we're $1 into Micron. We're $2 into Intel and Google right now. Let's go Google, man. This one's coming back in. We're $1.70 now in the money on Google. And I posted all of these trades, like the Micron trade, all of these trades, I posted in the midday chat. So make sure you do join us, get in the chat, get in all of that, and get ready to rock and roll. It's Mr. Joey Man over there at the desk. I'd hit the Stone Cold stuff, but I don't got it. It's Joe. Let's do this. Let's do this review, Joe, and then you can get out of here. Are you going to stay later on tonight, or what's your plan? Let's go back over, see what Joe's up to here, and it's the rundown.
Why would I leave, Katina, man? No reason to. I have no reason to. We have trades to put on. All right, guys, welcome to the afternoon rundown, the segment where you guys get to pick the tickers we talk about. Let's take a look at some of the overall market, but first things first, make sure you get those dollar signs in. Vote in the chat. Katina Man just told you guys, get involved, and make sure you like and subscribe. Now, let's take a look at some of the top performing sectors here this morning. And at the top of the list, we have the healthcare sector leading the way, up approximately 0.6%. And then we also have the consumer discretionary leading the way as well, too, guys. Amazon probably at the top of that list, 0.39%. And then we also have the tech sector holding on by 0.25% here to the green. Now, as for the bottom three, the financials down 1.2%, and then we have the materials down 1.6%, and utilities taking it on the chin, almost a knockout blow, down 2.35%. Now, if we're going to take a look at some of the major averages here this morning and afternoon, considering it's 2 o'clock with only a couple of hours left in the trading day, the Nasdaq still green, 0.6%, and we have the SPY holding on by a thread, 0.1%. And then also the bottom two, IWM. OB was short this earlier today, down 0.4%, and we have the Dow Jones down 0.7%. Now, if we're going to take a look at this week, we're still holding on to green, guys. Leading the way is the Russ, up 3.25%, a substantial amount there, so a nice little return. We have the Dow in second place, and then the Nasdaq in SPY finishing in those bottom two spots. Now, as for the top of the list, a technical breakout on INTC, but not very much continuation. As you've seen, I was taking a couple trades on this, but let's see what the boys think about Intel today.
Very quickly, there's some news on all these defense stocks. So on Truth Social, just a couple of minutes ago, maybe, President Trump, you can probably find the entire thing, but essentially, he's going at and saying that defense companies are issuing massive dividends and massive stock buybacks at the expense and detriment of investing in plants and equipment. This situation will no longer be allowed or targeted. He goes on to talk about executive pay packages, options, and it goes further and further. You can read the entire thing if you would like. It's over there at Truth Social. Lockheed Martin just lost the bid. Boeing had a bit of a pullback there. Of course, Palantir, I didn't hang on to Palantir, and then the Palantir really started to accelerate down in as well. So that's obviously going to put some serious pressure on some of those stocks. We'll see if they are able to hold up, but all defense names heading to the downside, dragging the market there with it, thanks to that Truth Social post.
Guys, we're $5 now in the money everywhere. That's a nice move to the downside. Obviously, wishing we still had the Nasdaq short on board, but there goes Google. We're just trying to cover a little bit more. So there's another fill right there, 322.75 or so. Nice move down there we shorted it. Didn't do well on Google in the beginning, but now we're starting to make that back up. Intel's been a very, very clean trade all day. Just let it rip up, coming back in. I sold some Intel over lunchtime, right into here, $43, sold some, but I used it on the Canadian. If you guys are with us, did you bring up a stock yet, or you just threw over to us, Joe?
Intel, I thought it was in.
Oh, Intel, okay. So I got out 2440s, so I guess not quite right into there. This is the Canadian CDR, so trades a little less if you have some Canadian money involved. You can trade names like, you could trade Meta over here, CC. This is $35. I was trying to tell this to Sia, but I'm not sure she understood that. But Meta over here in Canadian dollars, you could trade, because she was telling me, so many things are so expensive, how can she buy certain shares? And I was telling her, Google's $322. Here it is in Canada. Goog, no, I don't think, I know why, because it's not Goog. It's just Goog. It's not Google in Canada. There it is right here in Canada, so $52, right? So anyways, okay, talk about Intel. Intel, for some reason today, went absolutely off, right up to all-time highs again of 44.50. I mean, that matches exactly all-time highs. I said that again. It's nowhere near all-time highs. 52-week high, we just hit it like a month ago. There back December 1st or 2nd, right into there. We took that out today, and then we just got hit right back down. So despite the Nasdaq making new highs here on the day right there, Intel stopped around 10:30. So this is the Nasdaq right there. It continued higher. Intel did not. So something was underneath this. I don't know if there was a rumor or something about Intel. We do know that CES is going on as well right now. So definitely, wow. Like, it's almost like there's news here about Google as well. Like, this is really coming back in. We talk about Obi style here, and Obi, I stole it. You know, this waiting for something to happen and then hitting that on the way back in. I tried it a couple times here, but you can kind of see when the tape changes there. And so I'm going to be focusing on, you know, watching stock instead of just trying to pick levels, because that doesn't make any sense when a name is going sort of parabolic. But Google pulling back in nicely. Intel is going to be my #1 P&L today. So just because there's been no mistakes, it was one clean trade there, and Intel continues to be a great stock over the last year. I mean, Intel was hovering around $15, man, or $18, sorry. Like, this is. I had Brian Shannon on basically this whole time talking about how much of a level this was. It was a 40-year anchored VWAP. That was kind of a joke, but it was. And right into there, man, $19. Boom to the upside. So there it goes, man. I don't know when the government, Neil, is eventually going to sell, but they've got a big win. The U.S. government has a big win on that. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, when they do,
it's a problem.
You know, you might want to get out ASAP on that one, but for right now, Intel's working, man.
ASAP, no question. Yeah,
ASAP rocking.
But look, man, Intel. I think it may have a little bit more. I'm hesitating to pull the trigger to take another leg, because the first time in this move when it rejected on the monthly chart, I was like, okay, that's a good time to trim. But I think at this point, unless we close the month underneath if we close the month under 40, then I think that's going to be a reason that this little consolidation might be over, because it's lower highs. Intel looks fantastic from the bottom, but you put it on the higher time frame and it's a bit of trouble. Ever since this headline about buybacks, the market is dropping heavily.
Why is Trump saying that?
Willing to come at, if you're willing to come at defense companies over buybacks and pay packages and dividends, would you stop there? Maybe that's why we started accelerating a little bit after that. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. But I'm speculating based on the fact that everything just started to drop further, that some of them didn't make any sense. Like, I get why Palantir just dropped. I get why Kratos just dropped. I get why Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon probably as well. It doesn't necessarily make sense for others. This afternoon, I'm going to look at VWAP in here, because I want to be shorting pops into this move. Market under VWAP. I think you're starting to see a little bit more of a reasonable semblance of action. All that said, I have a pretty line on the chart that Bitcoin is bouncing off of. And if you double bottom and you've had a line on that, and I have a reason for having that bid or having this support level for like a couple of weeks at least on Bitcoin. So I have a trail in. I'm going to jump out of buy bid and then just wait for it to retest that lower high, because we're bouncing off support instead of breaking through it. A few more names to talk about here, but yeah, the president coming at dividends. And
I don't understand. Like, until we're through all of what is he? Why? What does this have anything to do with anything?
I
can't wrap my head around.
I guess it's a pressure to upgrade the military faster. Like, that's if you read
the U.S. government that
if you read the nuts and bolts of it, he's saying it's at the expense. You're doing buybacks and you're doing dividends and paybacks at the expense of investing in your equipment and infrastructure so that you could build out faster and more efficiently. If that's what he's saying, then maybe he's just saying, hey, everybody, get in there and invest. Instead of doing that, like, invest in some CapEx and then you can be back to normal. I don't know. Like, I'm guessing from what I'm hearing. But
his base won't like that.
You like those stocks because they do that. Because they generate a ton of cash and buy back. That's what makes Raytheon really good of a stock to hold. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about a stock like a Raytheon now.
I don't own any of those stocks, but I own, obviously Palantir is a big part of this guy's portfolio, but yeah, whatever. We sold some Palantir recently anyway, so it's all good. And stocks really, I mean, look, like we talked about, Palantir is probably the most widely held name that everybody has in this, still up 3% today. You know, if that news happens right here, it was 185, it's down to 183.75, like not a big deal there. I'm a little bit concerned. I would say my Boeing position would be the only one that I could be somewhat concerned about on something like this, but I don't know. What's he going to do? Come after NASA next? Like, we're not investing enough in this moon landing project? I don't know. But okay, we'll go, man. Energy Secretary speaking as well. So there's lots of stuff happening. We'll talk about some energy. But right now, we got to go over to Joe because, as he said, he's got to get back to his desk and put some more trades on. So let's go back over and figure out what Joe wants to talk about. What's up next?
All right, guys. Next on the list. Yes, once again, the very much popular Tesla with growing competition in its emerging segments, AVs, and in robotics, but this headline really, really caught my eye, and I don't know if the numbers are correct, but we're gonna go with it anyways. GLC Research maintains sell on Tesla, raising its price target to $25.28. And yes, that is correct, from $19 to $25.28. I can see the look on everyone's face right now. I'm questioning the exact same thing. What do you guys think about this?
Joe, don't bring those, like, come on, man. What are you talking about, TSLL or something? Like, what, you upgraded Tesla from 9, that's a mistake, but okay, I don't, that cannot be a real thing, but anyways,
what was the name of that analyst again? GLJ Research.
Did you say crackhead Bob?
Johnson.
You have to be ashamed of you.
I'm short Gordon Johnson.
Just say that you think the company won't survive, if that's what you mean. I'm just being honest, man.
But why even raise the price target? What does that even
That's what
mean?
I'm saying. It doesn't make any damn sense, man.
So he went from 19 to 25. So he put a 30% increase.
I'm sorry.
On a 25% increase on Tesla's head. So okay.
Like if you, like even like 100 and like it was like 100 to 150. Like that's far away from the price, but you could possibly rationally defend that. Anyways,
shout out to Crackhead Bob, by the way. People are catching that reference. Anyways, all right, Gordon Johnson. So I don't know what we think about with Tesla. I mean, it made, if you're drawing these trend lines, man, I mean, it started making higher lows pretty early in the day. So, you know, I don't think it was a surprise that we wound up going all the way to the upside there and basically retested day's high again. So when you can't break the bottom, you know, unless I'm dip buying, that's the only time it can ever break the bottom. But there, and now finally the bounce higher. So I really like Tesla. We've talked about it for the upcoming years. I heard Obi mention that he really liked the long-term chart on it as well. But, you know, it's definitely getting hit right now coming off of its most recent highs. But, you know, you're not buying this, although I love the car. I mean, I keep saying that. But it's not a car business that we're worried about right now. I mean, those numbers are depreciating, and we know about that. But it would be nice here. This is the first time, and I think you might have said it yesterday. Or no, it wasn't this talk, but it might have been something similar. From the all-time, let's just call it all-time highs, whatever, either what you wick through 500 or not. You've had basically right there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the 11th day from it being at all-time highs. This is gonna be the first.
no, number 2.
The second, well, yeah, this will be the, yeah. There was only one day where we had a green situation there, and that was Monday. So, yeah, that bounced up just a little bit there, bounced off the 50 period. Then the very next morning, we didn't even think about stopping there. We made another $10, $20 lower. So, yeah, I think you just need to get some actionable trades going on here. And right now, the momentum is down for Tesla. So let's just see if it can hold green today. That's the first step. Tesla holding green today. Let's see if it can do it. Yeah,
I mean, I still think a 440 break is potentially in play. I know it didn't turn out like how we would have wanted it. It just never on the 15-minute here set up the breakout to fill in this gap. I mean, all morning long I was like, hey, this could happen, It just never did, and it ended up being, it should have just been a short, I suppose, off of those highs. But it wasn't. I was looking for a break away from this area to fill in the gap, kind of like what it did on the only, like we were saying, the one green day. Didn't do anything. So let's, yeah, maybe it could pop $4 or $5 here and take out these highs and then be a runner this afternoon. Market seems too weak, so it's very unlikely. Wait for tomorrow. Maybe Tesla can put 2 green days in a row, and then it will be a breakout trade if it does. Let's see what's next on the list.
All right, guys, next up on the list, we have a fan favorite that is going to be Palantir, coming up as also the 2025 most searched name on Benzinga, but stock getting a little bit of a boost from the geopolitical tensions happening between the United States and Venezuela. But one thing I find interesting, off of the November lows, Friday, November 21st to be exact, we're up 25% and only down 10% off of its previous highs. What do you guys think about PLTR?
Well, I don't know the answer to this question in terms of how do they do buybacks and how big, because it's not a dividend stock.
I don't think they do buybacks.
Because you're not a dividend stock, and if they're not a big buyback, then why is it getting this hit with the rest of the defense names? Explain that to me. Like the other companies that are going down, they all do buybacks. I know they do buybacks, and a couple of them have dividends, so I get that. But Palantir, I mean, maybe they do, and I'm just not. Maybe I'm just not aware of it because I don't follow the stock enough. But tried 3 times on Palantir up top, at the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. The shoulder, and you know what? We always talk about the back end of the trade. Well, the back end of the trade is the right shoulder. So obviously, like there, not so great. Like here, the second time through, I actually trailed. This one was more frustrating because I trailed out of it. I'm like, yeah, baby, it's gonna break that support, and I'm holding. Anyways, and I trailed out. Then the third time, it worked back into 185 or so, and then this news hits. Not in it anymore. I don't know if it's even gonna hold VWAP. Like some days you'd be thinking, yeah, bounce off of VWAP at this time of day. After that news story and the way the market's going down, I'm not thinking that anymore. Forget about it. I am in Beyond Meat. This is just Beyond's doing a thing over $1. And I was sitting waiting for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Head and Shoulders, like about an hour ago, yeah, it's like an hour ago, Beyond Meat did this wick, and then it's like Head and Shoulders at 106. So I've been waiting there at 106 with a stop at the high for the entirety of the afternoon.
Oh, go Google.
VWAP retracement. So yeah, Palantir, I might stay away from this. You might have to give these defense stocks a little bit of a rest to react, to be able to calm down after this story.
So Palantir does have a buyback in 2023. They announced a $1 billion buyback. They still have $880 million to go. So
this is fair.
They're not. It's not going to really affect their price. They announced it in 2023 that they had. I just got that off Gemini. So they asked. Speaking about Gemini, Google right now is $3 right now in the money. So that's a good one. Getting lower now. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is really starting to get spicy now to the downside. I'm now going to use this 200 period, 321.50. I'm actually at 321.75. So if we could break down below there, we'll have that winner. Intel still going lower. Micron, I mean, we talked about what we're looking for there. Now we can change this to 340.50. If we break above 340.50 right there, then let's get out 340.51. We'll just stop out of them all if that winds up happening for us on Micron. But right now, man, we're $6 in the money on these 3 positions. So the short is now printing to that downside. Yeah, look, this is not, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp. Like Palantir is a founder-led company with Alex Karp, and he's sold a few shares. We had a selling moment. I think it was around 130 or 140 or so. He had sold some. I think it was just what was creating all of these sort of movements down here when we kept on hearing some announcements of Alex Karp making a couple $1 billion or whatever, selling some of his founder shares basically, and. Yeah, I'm not worried about anything defense contracts or anything. Palantir's not behind on anything. They don't have to CapEx and all that kind of stuff for them. They're basically a software company, so hopefully they'll be able to get that figured out, and the gun will not be pointed at Palantir. I think a little bit of clarification probably coming on that most recent truth. So pay attention for that. I would think that there's going to be, if not already, a move back up in some of these names. So I don't think this will. Already starting to get back upside. You're not even down that much on this news. So I'm going to say it's a nothing burger for now as Google breaks 322. Let's go back over to Joe. What you got now?
Guys, SMX getting a big time pop here throughout the intraday session, up a staggering 95% here on the intraday trading session. But dude, where's my weed? Well, apparently SMX can find that for you. Using its tracking system throughout supply chains, you can now follow everything that you need to within even your cannabis deliveries. So SMX to the top side, 95% supply chain tracking.
Okay, that's interesting.
SMX?
Dude, where's my weed?
What,
That's clever. That's
Andre,
great.
when do you want me to do that?
No short float on this thing because it's a very, very tiny. I see 8.7 million float for SMX. So it's churned through that like 1 2/3, something like that, like 14, 15 million shares worth of volume. So it got soaked up a little bit. Then you look at this, I'm like, okay, well now this makes a little bit more sense in context. Yeah, it's a dead cat bounce. And so if you have a dead cat bounce, congratulations if you got it. How far can you reasonably expect it to go? I don't know. Maybe it's got some room to 55, 56 in here. You won't see me trying to catch that one. When I look at a daily chart like that, I say hard pass. But if you're already in and you're like, yeah, it's above VWAP still looks pretty strong today, maybe you put a trailing stop in and hold for that 56 level on the daily. Yeah, clever, but that's a pass for me. It just looks like one of those like low float, got soaked, bit of a catalyst, get your squeeze, make your money, and then move on.
Right now, it is looking like Google may potentially have a concussion, but if you have one or know somebody that does, seconds count. You don't have time to wait to treat symptoms. There's NYSE listed Orogenic, symbol is OGEN, O-G-E-N. They are rewriting the rules of neurological care. They're looking to develop the first FDA-approved treatment for concussions. It's an intranasal. It's pretty cool. We've had them on the show, and it's a very, very interesting. We've had Pat LaFontaine on. We've had Brett Favre on. Make sure you go check these guys out. OGEN, symbols O-G-E-N, over there on the NYSE. An easy way to play the potentially monstrous concussion market. And obviously with sports getting more and more popular, with live sports, everything like that. And not just that, man, we've seen concussions like car accidents, or we talked about tobogganing the other day and things like that. So you never know where that's going to come from. But yeah, man, Google, I mean, we talked about getting 321.70. Well, we got that, and there it goes to the downside. All right, let's go back. I'm almost done. All of my trades are almost all gone. Let's go back over to Joe, and we'll hear what he's got next for us.
All right, guys, next up on the list is one of the hottest names here in the past couple of sessions. That is going to be SanDisk, SNDK. I mean, if we're going to go from our benchmark of the November lows, November 21st, a Friday, that is approximately 88% in a little bit over a month, guys. But BofA Securities maintaining a buy on SanDisk and raising its price target from $300 to $390. Is this move going to be sustained, guys? Or are we slowly going to start to cool off here in SNDK?
I don't know, man. I thought we were going to cool off for a while on SNDK, but it just hasn't happened. ARM got a bit of a pop, but I have not seen the story on the wire and was listening to Joe, so did not catch what was said in our ear. But yeah.
Talking about ARM, yeah, I heard that too. We'll have to wait for the story.
It's a pretty big volume spike, but it's already back. Man, whatever. Like it just pulled back almost the entirety of the move. So I feel pretty good about saying we should not pay as much attention to it when it's not going to hold any kind of a bid there at all. But as far as SNDK goes, it just keeps on going. Like today, when it felt like, hey, look at 350 rejection. Okay, this is the day. Couldn't stay green, right? Like 350 close, 350 rejection, 350 rejection, 350 rejection. Oh, yeah, let's just make some fresh highs. Oh, the market pulls back. Okay, let's make some fresh highs again. So at least for now, this one is staying absurd or ridiculous or whatever you want to call it. Today is not the day. So it'll be another day that I paid for locates to not use them on SNDK, which is fine. I think they cost nothing. They were like pretty much nothing. I think it's getting close to feeling like a top to me, but clearly it doesn't have one yet. It just waited for it to consolidate, then break down. Never broke down. Kind of like the stock is just on one. It's got like a squeeze feel to it. I know it's not a massive short flow. We talked about this yesterday, but it still has a lot of this squeeze feel to it on SNDK. Earnings are going to matter a heck of a lot because everyone's expecting that first quarter earnings on all these names, whether it's Micron, SNDK, Western Digital, are going to be fantastic, especially with Micron. And if they aren't, this could really unwind fast. But again, not today.
All right, man. Yeah, we actually traded one of these names here. It was Micron. I chose Micron today. And it was honestly just because of this. It was we didn't trade it early at all. I have no idea what this thing is going to do off the open. I mean, I guess if you had sort of saw that top right there, maybe you could have been short 10 o'clock or so, but that's where we shorted Intel actually. So yeah, right there, just, you know, in this area here, we were playing off the 50 period. Once we broke the 50 period, I was too lazy and I actually didn't even realize that we didn't have very many shares left. So I should have got out right there. We reloaded it at 340. I like the 340 area against whatever this was at the time was 341. So we're just using this 200 period to see if that's going to hold. So a little bit of a reload there at 340, out now at 339. That is $1, so we're $1 in on this one as well. We're 350 at 150 and $1 in, so $5, $6, and so right there, $5, right there to the downside 6. As we get there, looking for another bid to come through. So we just got hit there at 339. I'm going to wait for 338.50, but yeah, I mean, you really got to like these stocks. I just look at them, and my logic is flawed, but I say, like, how far away, you know, from the 50 period, and you can use, you know, rulers, anything you want, measuring tools, whatever, and you could see, like, this is a very big extension away from the 50 period moving average. So obviously that's not the be all end all, but this was, you know, a pretty big gap right here. We filled it, came back in. It was gapping away there. We did pull back just a little bit, then we kept on extending through. So I would expect this to, like, get into maybe the 300 area or so before its next little leg higher. You know, are you going to actually come and upgrade any of these stocks right now? You got to think about what the next catalyst could be. We did see a downside play in WDC today, Western Digital. I think we just covered that as well. So, you know, you're 1 or 2 or 3 days away from potentially, you know, seeing some downgrades in this space, and, you know, you don't want to be caught holding the bag if and when that happens. So I would just be careful with a lot of these names, and I think a smart, prudent trader would take something off at some point on any of these, just because of how much it's extended off. I mean, I'm one of the biggest Palantir bulls. I've rid that thing since $9, $10. We have the hat over here. I still took some out at 100. We took some out at 50. You're taking some out, like, as it keeps on going, keeps it extending. It's been wrong to take it out every time, but, you know, I think a prudent investor at least does something like that. All right, 236. Oh, Joe's gone. All right, Fabian, how's it going?
Well done.
Yeah, no, I know. I thought we were throwing back to you, Joe. Yeah. Joe always wants to make sure that everyone knows he's not gone. Anyway.
He has the best,
you know, he's still here. Yeah, Joe, feel free to pipe in whenever you want. Okay, so just on all of this, there goes Micron. It just broke lower, so I'm bidding 338.20s. Let's see if we get a real good dip opportunity in Micron. We could bid right now, but here it comes into 338, and we still have Google. That's what I'm working. You know what? I'm going to put a bid here at 50. Just to see if we put it, it jumps up. But I'm bidding 50s now. We'll go back over to Adair. It's good to have Adair back because obviously Trump's talking, defense secretary, everybody, or minister of war. Who knows who's going to say something next, but it's Adair right now with something.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this while I was away, but I'll mention it just in case. ARM on the move here, reorganizing into 3 main business units. That includes a new physical AI division, to be focused on robotics and automotive. That's reported by Reuters. Next but not least here, OLPX. Bloomberg reporting here that Olaplex is apparently attracting a takeover offer from Henkel, a German entity there. So again, ARM now apparently officially announcing here that they're reorganizing the company, including the launch of a new physical AI unit. So it's been a really news-heavy day, guys. So if you want to stay tuned, definitely check us out here on Trader TV Live. Make sure to like and subscribe. I also am posting regular news updates here and fun infographics on X at TTV Research. So lots of places to find us. Back to you.
This might put a damper on my opportunity to get ARM a little bit lower. That was so far, like last year was good with ARM because got the April low and was able to get out in front of the high, but I have not added back in, which is the intention to do so at some point in the first half of this year. We'll see what that ends up being. But I just hopped out of IBIT because I'm going to wait for VWAP. You know, like this is a little different. Like it's bouncing. I ask myself, like if I'm sitting there thinking, here's a 15. If I'm sitting here thinking this is the support, and I see it literally double bottom off the support, then maybe I should give it more room. I don't want to get away from this because it's one of the few things that just consistently was working downtrend. Like it's like this morning, it's like, yeah, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And then Palantir was good off the high, and IBIT has stayed pretty good. So I want to sort of stick with those ones, but I'm going to be patient, like allow it to get potentially into VWAP, just a little bit higher. like Lando said, just a little higher, Han, just a little higher at that point. And let's see what happens next. Let us know what you guys are watching. Certainly, the market's reversed itself, I think, pretty cleanly. Most of these defense names have managed to somewhat calm down here. Like I look at like Lockheed caught a bit of a bid, up like it bounced $10. It's a $500 stock though, so not necessarily as bad as it was before. And then you have Boeing here, which is doing, I'd say, much better. Probably a little safer, not fully a defense name. It's interesting they get criticized, Boeing, for their backlog. Like first of all, it's a duopoly, and both companies have it's like a 10-year inventory backlog. You order something, you're getting it in 10 years. So does it really matter if it's 10 with Airbus or 11 or 12 with Boeing? It's not that big of a difference. Like the standard right now is that it takes a very long time. So maybe they won't get the brunt of the president's ire the same way some of the other defense names will. But yeah, I'm going to try to be more patient, like wait for this high to come in here for sure. As if Bitcoin, one life to give. If Bitcoin is not moving up, then IBIT is neither. That's obviously true. If you want something, if you're looking for, like the ETF is going to track it. If you want something that's going to move potentially a little bit more, sometimes MSTR will, but this is tracking almost exactly as well. So you don't have a reason not to just trade into IBIT, at least for myself. That's the way I see it. Maybe you can sometimes look at a BMNR if you think that there's going to be a bigger move in ETH. That's at VWAP, but I'm just going to stick with the one that's been working for me today.
All right. Micron's getting nastier right now to the downside. So if you guys, any sort of questions you guys want us to ask, or you want to ask us, please do it like immediately and we can go over everything. I'm just trying to find out like which stocks are moving around. We have the trade rate right here. This is from eSignal. So right now it's indicating that, Tesla is a name that's moving around, obviously. It's always on here. Tesla, NVIDIA, SPY, Intel, Netflix, catching that bottom at $90. We'll see if that can hold. I don't know. Very news-based right now, Netflix, just waiting to see what happens with that offer. So this is a trade rate, so this will hit with the stocks that are putting through like the most trades right now. So sometimes you get, like there's ASST was just on there, I saw. ASST, Strive, yeah. We've talked about this. Okay, so trying to hold through $1 right now, and of course done 110 million shares. So yeah, a lot of trades going through on this one. There's Open Door, Neil's been looked at that before as well. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. More importantly, the subscribe. As we try to get to 550 right now, we're at, yes, 549, baby. We've been looking at 548 for like a month. So right there, thank you so much to everybody for hitting your subscribe. And whoever hits it and gets 550, you will win nothing, but it'll be really awesome to be the person that does that. Yeah, so.
It's when people are so excited to be first in a chat, but like that's a way bigger deal being 550.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's ONDS. So a name here, Ondas Holdings. They're moving around a little bit today. That just hit on our schedule, on our radar right there, off of a nice 4 or 5 day run from 8 to 13. ONDS. Micron getting, silver. I just saw silver on there. So hi ho. It's off to work we go. I don't know why we say that for silver. I guess it's because the guy from what's that show there?
Onto.
No, yeah, that too. But no, man, I'm thinking about the
Lone Ranger.
That is where it's from. But I was thinking about the guy from the Christmas movie there, who has he goes silver and gold, silver and gold. The Rudolph movie. I think it is called Rudolph, isn't it?
You're probably right.
And then what's the guy's name? It's a funny name. Anyway.
You guys in the chat.
I actually don't like that guy, man. The guy takes out all of the Yeti's teeth there. That guy. What's his name? It's a funny one. You guys all, Yukon something. Yeah, there it is. You got that. The Burl Ives one. That's one of the best.
I thought that song was sung by the narrator. I don't think that song is sung by the forest
I have
guy.
no idea. Oh, Yukon Cornelius. That's what it is. Oh, man, classic, man. Brings me back. But yeah, so silver today, okay. Not bad. It was a lot worse earlier. We get down into that 69 marker, and we had sort of said that, the wild ride that silver's been on over the last week or so continues, right? We were just at all-time highs right there yesterday. You're just pulling back a little bit. I don't think it's worth dumping your silver or anything like that, but it has been a nice little run up there. But again, look how extended we are. Even though silver has had an epic run, it's well extended, very, very similar to its kin in gold, because GLD is also well off. I don't think it's off as much off the 50 period as silver. Silver has gone kind of parabolic in the last month or so. Yeah, so gold to me looks less likely for a pullback than silver, but you know, both names kind of go with each other. So you know, silver and gold, as it continues to be a big talk about as far as a store of value. Copper, on the other hand, I think, you know, the legs in this move actually can continue higher. Copper obviously used in new homes, so as you know, the United States and all across the world look to build more housing, I think copper, with all the wiring, I think that's obvious something that can be used there. We talked about the amount of copper used in EV cars as they get more and more populated. That's going to be a thing there. And then of course the data centers, that build out is part of the reason why we see this huge move in copper. I mean, just to take the obvious stuff, like when we started talking about data center build outs, like, you know, Oracle's quarter back in October, whenever it was, like those were the times, man. Like you could have easily just sat down and thought about things a little bit. And I think copper, silver and gold probably would have been on your mind as far as those are concerned. So I don't know what's going on with Micron,
Freeport's
man.
breaking out. That's my.
Yeah, Freeport's a great one. So like we were talking about this being $5 or $6 in the money. We're now $2.50 in the money on Micron. We're now $2 in the money on Intel, as that's bouncing a little bit, and now almost $3.50 on Google. So I think it's really Micron that is continuously going lower right now. Nickel, palladium, they're all, you know, all the precious metals basically all have a use case right now in this
commodity
build-out.
kind of year, man. I think
That
this
could
is
be a
where
great
the
call.
shift is. And then you throw in, like, what does this Greenland talk about? It's not national security. National security Ds. The U.S. can put his, like, you think if the U.S. used to have like a bajillion bases in Greenland and like thousands and thousands of troops. And it's like NATO, like Danish is like they're NATO. So if they really wanted, they'd just be like, yo, we need to throw some bases up in here. No one's saying no. Like, I really don't. I think it's all about resources. And that being said, I did read something that suggested that some of their rare earth metal might be more difficult to extract or not as pure, so it might not be as efficient. So there's maybe some pushback there that might not be as big of a deal for the rare earth metals, but we'll see. I went back to open. Here's what I liked about it. We talked about the whole BX thing earlier. Blackstone, and some other names where the president, he first took aim this afternoon, not at the defense names and the dividends. It was talking about buying single family homes by private industry, and that had BX go to the downside. Open Door was a casualty of that, and Open Door just hasn't recovered. So the first bounce was just now, and look at that topping tail. Like that wick comes right in to a prior support level, pulls back on the 15, loses it on the 15, so like reshort that one. Just kind of go back to the well, shorting lower highs as we're kind of trending down. So look for the low day again on Open Door. Just try to stick with it. And Commodity King, that's a good point. Water, not metals for Greenland. That's a great point. It is, but it's about resources. I shouldn't say, if I said minerals, I should just say any commodity or any resource. I think that's what the play is. I think the national defense thing is like a pretense, realistically.
This is all, I like the water. I like the water talk. I mean, we do need more water. I mean, water's got to help power. That's part of the cooling agent and everything like that. There's going to have to be a need for water. I was invested in water a while ago, and the company it was got bought out by Nestle, believe it or not. So that's another play there. I know it's the same stocks, but I just want to say, like, I'm covering a little bit now. I mean, we're down into VWAP. You know, $6-7 here in the money. Oh shoot, $5-6. Maybe I should say that 6-7 stuff in the money right now. So we'll just cover it. You know, covering Micron, Google, and Intel. We don't have too much of that. Is that in Commodity King? Is that an ETF AWR? I was actually
no, it's American Water.
American States Water. Okay, yeah, because I do want some water plays. I've actually asked about. I think I might have asked this on Twitter not too long ago, because I don't know if there's an ETF or anything involving water, but I really think that this is the next bull market. I know that sounds crazy to say that, but like down here 70, wow, okay, this is not bad. They probably pay a decent dividend. I don't know. I got to do some research.
I don't know exactly
on
what they do,
but that's looking like a decent. Remember, like if you're just a public waterworks or something like that, that might be a little bit different. But we could talk more about this in a couple minutes. We got to go over to Neil.
We do, and certainly there's always opportunities to trade in the futures markets. If you want to track the Nasdaq 100, the S&P 500, and happen to be a savvy Canadian investor, then hey, you can boost your exposure with Beta Pro by GlobeX. Their 3x daily leverage ETFs offer built-in FX hedging. You get to amplify your short-term movement in the market and minimize the impact of those currency swings. So if you're bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active traders such as yourselves ready to take on those markets. Make sure you read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Scan that QR code you see out in front of you. Shout out to Beta Pro by GlobeX. Yeah, I think it's one of those, like, I don't know what that company does, but it's certainly a place. Like, I remember Bill Burr making the Nestle joke like a decade ago, which was a great one.
Maybe that's why I
watch you've probably seen the bit. He's like, meanwhile, we got a guy at Nestle who says he wants to own all the water. I love Bill Burr. He's kind of a funny guy. Anyways, but I do think that's what the Greenland thing is about. It's just about finding places to go. And I recently bought some MP. I think, if you're looking for resource plays, Freeport looks like a pretty good one out there. You get they're like half copper, but a bunch of other things. So they're a little more diversified, I suppose. But yeah, no resources for Open Door. What they do is their business. We still don't have, I'd love to, Eric Jackson feels like he's moved on, man.
From Open Door? Well,
every time every time he's tweeting about something or posting about something, he's posting about like HUD or something else, and it's not about Open Door anymore. So I feel like the hype has gone out of that. We got breaking news on ABBV.
Oh, good.
Oh, and RVMD, Adara.
RVMD looks halted here, guys, as far as I can tell. Wall Street Journal reporting that ABBV is in advanced talks to buy Revolution Medicines, or RVMD. Let's take a look at ABBV to see if it's reacting to this news. Not too much here, but again, we do have Wall Street Journal reporting that apparently ABBV in advanced talks to purchase RVMD. We'll go back to Sean and Neil here.
Yeah, let ABBV, if ABBV dips, that'll be an opportunity if they dip that on the acquisition. We had Eli Lilly with VN, what the heck was that thing called? VTYX, that's what it was. I almost want to say VNTX, like it must be something else. VYTX, although that's still not finalized, by the way. They're saying $14, but it's still just, they're in the closing or the last inning, or it could be announced any day. But Eli Lilly is going to make that acquisition. It seems like this is what is happening, man. You're getting buyouts. We're going to have more of them this year, especially in this space. And it seems as if you're not getting punished for it. So I like ABBV. When the market was dipping, this was one of those, hey, get a safe play in there. I wanted some more exposure. And I did, for the first time ever, dip into this a while back. But I still think the king is, like the purchase yesterday for Eli Lilly, yeah, about that. This tagged the highs. Literally tagged the all-time high today within like $1 or $2. It might have missed by $1 or $2, but who the heck cares?
It'll be higher tomorrow.
Novo's pill scared this stock for like 3 hours, and then it went right back into buying. A $150 GLP pill. When you don't have an oil yet with Eli Lilly, nobody was scared because they understand that Eli Lilly is going to do it better, and they're going to do it cheaper, and they're going to get done this year. So this is the best stock in the space, and it's not even close. Like, when you get bought up like that, man, people have been waiting for this catalyst for Novo for a while, and it still didn't matter. At least it hasn't mattered yet.
Yeah, Novo and Eli Lilly kind of looking opposite chart patterns right now. All right, let's just go over, because I just canceled all of my orders and now just have stop orders into the close. So I'm going to stop out pretty much at the 50-period moving average. That's the pink line for a 1-minute chart, SMA, 50-period moving averages. So 339 on Micron, the order's in. Intel, the order's in right now at 42.90. So I'm using the 200 because we're already at it right now. So I'm going to use the 200 period, so 42.90. I mean, we could basically stop out right now. That's the 50 period right there. But because it's Intel, that's only 12 cents. So we're going to give that a second. And the same thing here for Google. I guess I got to keep changing this. 322.50 I have for Google. So I've covered all the way down here, and I like the stock. And Intel, we have like 5% left of Intel, So whatever happens here, happens here. But yeah, that's what we're liking right now. We like some of these positions. So for me, we just talked about XB. Well, we talked about ABBV, but I always get questions. I don't know why, because I've talked about XBI. I love this. Is an ETF that one of the only ETFs I was buying a while ago, for like the last 5 years or something like that. I don't remember the last time I actually bought it, but I really enjoy XBI here. There's also IBB, and I was just using the logic that people are getting older and technology is getting better. So maybe we can become more efficient in developing, biotechnology. So I, like that call, and you're obviously getting that bump up. And I think it's also a great look in the space because with buyouts and regulation being lifted on many different areas, we've seen more opportunities for buyouts, and that is what happens in the spot, right? So XBI right there, getting a uptick on more talk like that. Tom Lee calls the future again for ETH, so he's loving some BMNR these days, of course, and nothing like calling your own, basically holding the future, so that's nice. But we'll wait to see what winds up happening here. BMNR down 4.4%, and we often go over the crypto plays, but we always just look at IBIT. There are other names out there. There's XRP, which is going to be Ripple. There's Solana and whatnot. This is what the majors look like right now moving forward. So here we go, man. We've got Bitcoin 91 and change, flat on the day. There's Ethereum only down 2.3%. Remember, BMNR I just showed you down 5%. That's because it's traded only during the day. And then the other big ones I know a lot of you are looking at, Solana got a high of 250 about a month and a half ago. That got cranked. Ripple XRP, their high is about 350 or so, I believe. That's down to $2, so that got cranked as well. Dogecoin, 14 cents, whatever that high is. When I saw Elon on SNL, that was about 60 cents. So all these names, Cardano's high is about, was it $2? I don't know, and that's funny because I own a lot of Cardano, so I should know. That's down to 40 cents. Its most recent highs in the dollar area. So many of these crypto names, I was trying to see if there's any, Chainlink I know is a pretty popular one as well. But right now, in the last 24 hours, it's been pretty bad. But the last 7 days, 20% there for XRP, only 5% or 6% for Ethereum, 4% for Bitcoin, 8% for Solana. So it's right here. That's the aggressive mover right now, XRP. What up, Adara?
No news, but I just want to give a recap here of some of the news we had earlier because you guys have been aware Trump's been truthed. So we're going to go recap his Truth Social posts and how they moved the market. We're going to start here with this post that came out at 12:45 p.m. This was a big market mover. Trump basically posts here that because homeowning was at one point, quote, the pinnacle of the American dream, and now we have larger institutions, buying single-family homes. Trump is now basically going to be calling here on Congress eventually to codify a new rule he wants to do to ban large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. So basically, Trump does not want these single-family homes to be purchased by institutional investors. Now, what's interesting here is the stock reaction. We had a big drop here in BX, and then a lot of these apps where you can basically buy homes and or home builders, so the likes of Opendoor, OPEN, Lennar, LEN, KB Homes, KBH, Toll Brothers, TOL, anything in that sphere actually dropped quite heavily on the response or on that post. But it is interesting. We did have a response here from one CEO of one of these companies. It's Kaznajadian of Opendoor basically saying that he and his company are, quote, super happy with Trump's decision. They actually support that this decision is going to be helping average homeowners. Now, this did not help the stock at all. If that was his goal, it was not effective in that way. But either way here, interesting to note that he did respond. But that wasn't Trump's only Truth Social post because he is back at it again here just over an hour after his first post, this one coming at 2:08 p.m. and sending defense stocks to the downside. This is a very long post, but to summarize, I think the biggest things that we need to know is that basically Trump wants to stop the issuing of dividends and stock buybacks by defense companies and defense contractors. Now, why is that the case? Because he feels that these companies are getting paid too much and they're doing too much, celebrating, for lack of a better term, but unfortunately they're not building quickly enough, at least in his opinion. So with that in mind, again, stopping buybacks, stopping these dividends, and also stopping executives in the space from making more than $5 million per year. So I did the research as I do, and I just use, for an example, Boeing, RTX, and LMT. They're kind of usually the top three names that we think of when we think of defense names. And it's interesting, guys, the CEO of all three of these companies, they're making in the ballpark of 18 million to 26 million as of last year, so 2025, 2024. Again, that's just what I found through a quick Google search. So with that in mind, like this $5 million that Trump is suggesting, that's going to be roughly a quarter of their current salaries. So we're going to have to wait and see if and how this is implemented, but just wanted to give a quick recap of these market moving events and back to you. Oh, sorry, but before we do that, we're going to take our friends at Eminent Gold because Nevada has an exciting emerging gold story. Eminent Gold, trading on the TSXV as EMNT, continues hitting oxide gold on its 100% owned district scale Hot Springs Range project. Latest result, 9.2 meters at 3.2 G over T, the best yet, with gold intercepts in every tested structure to date. Definitely one to watch. Learn more in the news section of eminentgoldcorp.com. That's eminentgoldcorp.com about their exciting new find. Back to you.
How dare you threaten crony capitalism? Yeah. Look, I saw someone in the chat say, man, there goes my dividend portfolio. When you're an investor, you're not going to be happy about this whole, if you own defense stocks, obviously. But you know what? Gotta be real. If you believe in free markets and you understand that if you're getting government money and government contracts, then heck, the government probably has something to say that they can reasonably say to you. Well, it kind of is what it is. Like that's the hand that's feeding you. So it's probably fair game. And ultimately, like you have to have two hats on, right? You have one. I don't want to get political or anything, but if you own some of those defense stocks, then that might not be the best in the short term. That being said, none of that, I guess, is going to have any effect on defense spending going up. So I still believe firmly the defense spending in general is only going in one direction. If they have to raise their investment, there's still going to be a boatload of cash coming to them from governments around the world. So ultimately those stocks are pretty good. Just have to maybe wait to buy the dip on them. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Realistically, things have really started to slow down. I know I said that when we were doing the rundown, I did say that maybe Tesla would get this breakaway for us, break out this top. I mean, ideally, and I think on my note I said 440 was going to be your spot. Like, show me that you can hold on the 15 over 35, which has been pretty useless every time it has. But it's the 440 level that it really needs to go. It's not happening. We just hit power hour, and it's not like we're accelerating in terms of speed anywhere. I'm not really seeing anything go crazy. Like when I look at, I just heard, we did have that halt, that revolution, and for anyone that wasn't paying attention, that RVMD. I had actually assumed that it was at first, which is you shouldn't. I had assumed that it was just gonna be a news-based halt on that ABBV story. It wasn't. It was just a straight up volatility halt. It opened back up, and it has since gone absolutely ham. So it opened at 98, halted at 103, and is now indicating $1.20. Yeah. So there's no rumor. I didn't see in the rumor how much they might be paying. When we got the Eli Lilly one yesterday, we actually saw. Immediately it said approximately $1 billion. So you could have an idea where it was going to open up. And it went pretty much right to that number and then pulled back. But with RVMD, we do not know essentially what they might pay or what ABBV might pay for RVMD, but they're said to be in late stage talks to acquire them. So that's the story. It halted almost instantly upon reopen. So that is what it is. RVMD is this has been a runner. Sometimes you really do wonder, when a stock has done this, and then you get the announcement that they're being bought.
And then?
I don't know about that, man. Like, it's one thing if it's going sideways, but this stock was like up 250% in the last few months, and now they're going to get bought out. Yeah, I'm sure nobody knew anything. No one ever knows anything in these.
No, man, not in these markets. I mean, it's not rigged at all. There's no front running. There's no nothing. In these markets, of course. If you tuned in about 4 or 5 years ago, we had this discussion about the markets being extremely rigged, and I think now more than ever. Okay, so we got stopped out of Google, which is fine by me, man. We'll put Google in the gates of hell for a minute, but it's not gates of hell stock by any stretch of the imagination, man. It just, it broke the 50 period back to the upside. So way too many ins, way too many outs, but we like Google today. It was a good trade to the backside of it, but just too many shots upside on Google before. But we kept on getting stopped out. So we had a couple wins to the short side before eventually getting stopped out. Then going long, these reds are the longs. We're able to get out around 326, and then once we saw a pretty violent move off of that, I would have liked to see a bigger volume spike. So I wasn't super convinced of this move on the way in. You know, when you're looking at a stock like Intel, here, let me just zoom in here a little bit. Maybe we can just show you sort of why we wound up going short there on Intel. Like, can you tell where we started to go short? So, you know, just a lot of buying early on. Maybe we made this a little bit too big here. Let me just does that look better? Yeah. So, you know, there's Intel just on one all morning. You know, we kept on asking for news. There wasn't really anything that was super convincing of a 10% move up on Intel. And then all of a sudden, man, it's just like we had big time green. Like the buying was really picking up as we broke through 44 and got back to 52-week highs, like we just showed you made back in December. We got to that early on in the day, and then we were just followed by big selling candles. We were already short going into that selling, but that's really, you know, gave us the indication that, okay, there was either some whales starting to dump some of their trades over there, and that should have been enough to hold it, and that's eventually what we wound up doing there. So you kind of want to look for those bigger volume situations to maybe signal a top or bottom. Now, they don't. If it worked all the time, then we would have, you know, more success here around these places as traders. But, you know, it's just like trying to figure out what's going on. And there it is right there, a little bit of a volume situation. For Micron, it was different. I wasn't looking at volume at all. I was just using right here the 50 period because we really rode this 50 period to the downside. So, you know, once we were able to sit down here and look for a short, I picked Micron, covered that, broke back above. Like I said, that was a mistake. We should have got out right there, whatever we had left. We averaged in it on 340 against what was the 50-period moving average. That was about 50 cents. So that 50 cents gave us 340 down here to 337.50. So 250 for 50 cents. We'll take a 5-to-1. And now we should be getting close to being out. I thought we had our punch out here on Micron, 339.11. All right, so it was going to be the 200 period, the 50-period moving average, but that is now, you know, come way in. So we should now just use our stop as this recent out, 338.80. So that's what we're going to use right now as our out. It's pretty close. You know, we could just use 339, honestly. We don't have that many shares left, so that's it. So again, just trying to break trend, right? That's a good area to get out. If we had more shares, we probably would have been a little more focused on that spot right there. Let's put another bid at 338 just in case it does come in and fill us. We do have enough shares to be able to do that. So we'll go put one at 338.20. And now let's look for some more names. I mean, puff, puff, pass. I don't know what your all choices or your leisurely activities may include, whether or not it's drinking water or whatever, cannabis.
A leisure activity.
Yeah, drinking water. Yeah,
Good,
some people.
a quality habit is what it should be.
Yes, yeah.
These are fading really bad.
Also, yeah, those are super old. There are some nice ones out there. A leisurely quality habit could also be consuming some of it. You do not want to invest, I don't think, right now in any cannabis. I mean, we have some really positive talk about it, and all it's done is just whap right back in. So, like, it's great to experience this kind of a move if you're in it, but it never seems to last very long. We've had, you know, a lot of bump ups in this space, and maybe it lasts a week, I don't know, and then it just, you know, keeps getting crushed. So like you think from here, $2 up to $3.50. Okay, well, how long did that last? Right back into $2 again. This was a kind of a nice move, $2 to $5.50 for sure. Some of these tops, right? But then if you're in this, you might be thinking of a little higher. It still went back down into $3. So it gave back like 300% of that move, which was about a 250% move from 2 up to 550 or so. Then from 550 back down to 3. So you kind of give most of it back. And if you're smart enough to hold it, you got that break of 550 up into 7, and now you're right back again. So I think the right thing to do, it didn't break the 200 period moving average until right here. And since then, it's been pretty bullish on MSOS. So we'll do a little bit of this. Shout out to Adam West. That's where we sort of started all of these bangs and booms and awesomes and all that. But I just, you know, the 200 period to me looks somewhat exciting there as an investable spot. So 350 to 360, I think you'd make a play, and then you just say, you know what, man, if we break $3, we're out of here. So that would be a play for me on the weed names. Just to taking it a different direction, man. All we ever talk about here seems to be the chip names. We got some great news about LMT and some of those defense names gave us something to trade with. But just a little look in case some of you are invested in the marijuana cannabis space. That should be something to look at. But other than that, I don't know what else I want to do right now.
No, that RVMD opened up and went down. So, and I put this in the chat, and you know what, I was going to talk about SoFi next, but I should complete the exact thought and not just assume that everyone was following along in the chat when I was sort of discussing this. When we looked at this daily chart, you have to keep in mind a few things. Off the last deal, like yesterday, it's not completed, but the Eli Lilly acquisition, it was like 90% or something was a speculated premium at one point. I think it was about 60 or 70% higher today, but the speculated premium was almost 90%. Most of the time, the premium is going to be some kind of a moving average, whether it's a 90-day or a 30-day. So they will look at how the stock has been trading and be like, okay, we're going to slap a X premium relative to what is normal, and we're going to price it based on when there was interest. So you don't know how long they've been in talks or how long they've been deliberating it. It's entirely possible that they're looking at the premium from like 60 or 65 or 70. So therefore, the fact that it's up 23% right now, that's from yesterday's close. So it's not automatic it's going to go up. Or go up higher, just because typically you've been seeing closer to 50%. Maybe some of that is already priced in. Just be careful with this. The money gets made. Typically, the money gets made by owning these things before, or by trading them on the first or second day when a deal is announced. And clearly, if you own this before, congratulations to you. But I'm looking at SoFi right now. There's someone asked in the chat, can you look at SoFi? Here. SoFi has been trending pretty much the majority of the day. Goes right into the afternoon high, yesterday afternoon's high, and is starting to pull back. It's more of a line of best fit than a trend line. But if it is able to break it, there's still some time for it to get down. That said, it is putting a head and shoulders in. So it might make some sense. This holds the head and shoulders to just nibble and then add and then look for the volume-weighted average price here. So yeah, I have eyeballs on SoFi. Yesterday, it got absolutely smoked. Like eventually, like what a bit it caught off 26. And eventually, it did get a pretty crazy revision. David, I just lost it. That super chat. AI Adara's trade of the day. Sell off till close, MU going down like a clown. Why is it AI Adara's trade of the day? Did I miss a joke?
Oh, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, right now Western Digital is getting hit. Right now,
maybe she's in AI. Or
she's in AI? I don't think so. Well, maybe she's just so good at.
Adara's trading though, right? Adara, are you trading anything right now?
Micron?
Yeah.
CrowdStrike and I are in a war. No one's winning.
CrowdStrike, okay. So not much going on.
Eating the delicious dry chicken, probably.
The chicken is, there's a lot left.
Told you.
There's a lot left of the
Told you it was going to be dry. Overcooking everything lately.
They are.
It is what it is.
Right here, I'm just trying to, actually here, I want to take out my license plate. All right, so shout out to Paul here.
Nice.
No, I mean, it's been done for a while. There's Trader TV, Paul, I know. I still have not gotten FSD, but here it is. I'm starting to think he doesn't really own one. Okay, this is my car right here. So this is my Model 3. So I got it wrapped. Shout out to Raptors right here. So it's wrapped in a dark satin gray. Right now it's got winters on. It's got black rims. This is my my Model 3. So this is the Tesla that I have right now. And yeah, I absolutely love the car. And yeah, so, but I don't have full self-drive yet, and I should just get it. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I keep hearing that there's like these trials that are going around. So I was like kind of being cheap and waiting for a trial, but it's only $100 a month. Like, honestly, I just got a note there. My wife just spent $230 or whatever at Loblaws, which is a grocery store. So it's kind of like money just goes in and out of my account. So yeah, $100 a month is not anything. But that's the car there, so I do actually own that. But yeah, I guess you don't have to believe me, but it's downstairs, Paul. If you're ever around, we can go check that out. But yeah, let's just look at Tesla just real quickly right here. All right, so 436 and change. Like I said, this has been a really strong stock today. I mean, ever since that morning where you started to see some of these lower, higher lows is what I'm looking for right there. So the low came in real early on. This is a very impossible stock, bless you, a very, very hard stock to trade off the open because it does do these crazy violent moves. Like you were down to 430. What's going on? The market's cranking lower right now. We actually got stopped out of Intel there, and we got stopped out of Google as well. They're both moving lower. Oh, are they? Okay.
I'm definitely not long.
I only have.
Oh, SoFi is correct, but open doors are wrong.
All right, yeah. So I only have Micron right now. So this is definitely there. Fabian, if you can reboot the position board somehow. Anyways, we'll just wait. Doesn't matter. I'm only in Micron. So just to let you know, I wish I was still in all of those shorts. But and as Neil said, his is incorrect as well. But okay, let's just move on. Micron downside. The futures are kicking lower right now, and I don't know if there's a story to talk about here, but we broke through VWAP, and it's too bad because my back to the futures trade today was not a great one. We were short, so this was real early. I don't ever really want to take too many positions too early in the day, and what we actually put on, if you actually read the note, like, hello, Sean, read your own damn notes every once in a while, right into here. I know I'm thankful that a lot of you are checking out this sticky note, but I think I should check it out myself. We said right here, looking short needs to break which level there, Sean? 54.50, and then we'll use 55 as our out. Okay, so in order to go short, this is my worst stock of the day. In order to go short, must break 54.50.
Where is it?
Not 34.50, 54.50. And right there, it does not even come close to breaking that. That is right here. But of course it gets to 55 and I'm like, okay, well, if that's gonna be my out. So we get out there. Then we actually had a pretty good short right there at the top and we made it all back until we didn't, man. And then it was oopsies. We did it again, Britney Spears style. And we started to go short, made a little bit back until eventually got cranked out right there. So yeah, not a great experience for your boy there on the TQs today, but we'll make it back. This is an easy trade for me. We love trading the Nasdaq and the futures, and yeah, the Nasdaq right there with the TQQs. But yeah, bad trade there. Breaking through VWAP might have been that little extension move lower. More to come on that, though. We wait to see what happens with TQs now as the Nasdaq continues to go lower there.
Yeah, I just saw someone in the chat saying, like, maybe volatility was moving around. No,
maybe. I mean, that's
I checked
the break of VWAP could
VIX's doing absolutely nothing. So it's not that. Just trying to figure out. It could, maybe it's technical. I don't know. But the Nasdaq is losing the bid here, definitely. But there's the VIX. Yeah, that ain't it. But it's a good look. Like anytime you see something like this start to happen. And by the way, this is the ES. ES has been red already, and now you're busting through overnight lows. Whereas the Nasdaq is pulling back into like prior highs. So like the tech trade has been much better. I was saying like SoFi had that trend break. So there's the trend break. Want to look to see if it closes underneath. Want to look for the ad. Got to keep an eye. Like the futures are at the low, so you want this to follow through. But we are at 317, so you can have targets. But we also only have about 30 minutes until the imbalances come. So not as much time for things to figure themselves out here, like you would in the open of the day. So I'm going to move from my quote board, like I always do at this time, to have an early look at the imbalances. CVE. Okay, seemingly that's been there every single day. So has SOXS. Neither one has mattered that much when it's there. RF probably doesn't matter. TD, it's dual listed. LUV.
He was there yesterday.
I feel like there's at least a Canadian bank in there somewhere almost every single day. But FCX is there for a million buy. LUV, a million buy. Nothing really stands out. FXI, BBAI, that's from the morning. You can tell by the time there. Yeah, so nothing crazy on the early look. Nothing that I think is going to move the markets, or at least the individual names I don't think are going to move off of that. Like I'm willing to, like Synovus is like a $15 stock. I bet you it's not even moving on that buy and bounce. If anything, it's headed downside. Yeah, so the imbalance is early nothing burger, at least. And Tesla, still going to have to say this breakout is not happening today on Tesla.
The balances are decent because they serve a purpose, you know, able to get in and out of shares without trying to affect market price too much. So, you know, we have to be very, very, very careful about the imbalances. I just saw someone post about SMCI, so shout out to you. They're Jer Bear. Yeah, I was disappointed at SMCI too. This is another stock where we called the short off VWAP there. We actually, not only did we call it, we made it. We made the short, but did not make any profits as we shorted VWAP, got out 5 cents or so after that VWAP break. You know, hindsight could have given it to the 200 period moving average. We probably should have done that, but what are you going to do? We were in enough shares to make it a problem if we were wrong, so we slipped out of it. So that's, for me, it's always just a share size problem. I feel like we get the right moves, but it's about how many shares am I taking at certain prices, and am I forcing myself basically to punch out? So, you know, we gotta work on that a little bit, which is why I'll slightly disagree a little bit about the whole paper trading thing that they talked about on the midday, but it is good to understand your keyboard and everything like that.
We used to have a keyboard test.
Yeah, the keyboard tester was a good one.
You literally, and it seems tedious, but when we were trainees, there was like it wasn't even very long. It was like a 10 or 15 minute test thing, and you had to do it over and over and over.
It would say like Arcabuy, and you'd have to hit your Arcabuy.
Until you were fast enough. And you couldn't go live without passing the test. That was actually think that was really valuable. You got to the point where like you're hitting your keys and punching in orders with multiple gateways and crossing and typing in prices without even looking. Like it's like getting good at a game or something. I found that was incredibly valuable. Maybe they should bring something like that back.
Maybe, yeah, no, not really. I don't think speed matters.
Don't care anymore. So it doesn't matter. Like when we started out, you could arbitrage trade. Like there were certain strategies that required so much speed in your decision making, and the algos have taken a lot of those over. But I thought that was really valuable for us, anyways. But just me.
Yeah, same. I mean, I did like it. How do I like Rivian here? Well, Patrick, Rivian is going to be the next car in my driveway, but it's how do I like the money. We'll use some of our Rivian shares, pay for a little down payment. I don't have enough shares to actually buy a vehicle, but yeah, we like Rivian, man. I think I was actually looking at my account today, and I sold a bunch of these. Like I didn't have that many DraftKings shares. I sold that off. I sold a few of the different plays off out of the account there. So nothing really going on for me. But yeah, Rivian, wow, good look today, man. I don't know what's creating this, but it is a great look for Rivian, just taking out the day's high right there. So yeah, big bounce off of $20, and this is nowhere near. Rivian IPO'd at $108. Just let that settle there for a second. All right, it IPO'd at $108. It got down to $8.
Didn't it go to 150?
Right there. It might have gone to 150 within days. We have to zoom this back out. This is back in the heyday. Ford had a position on Rivian, and here, I'll just call it up on I mean, it's going, it's now starting to go. All right, this is what it looks like here. Let me zoom. There it is. So, yeah, we haven't split. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great, like, Rivian was solving all the world's problems when it IPO'd. Down here, $100. It went all the way to 180 there within, this is daily, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe within a week, gets up to 180. And then it was like, oh, yeah, we lose $85,000 a car. And then it was like, oh, yeah, you do? And then that just was from 180 down to $89. I was wrong. It looks like its low was $10.36 or so, right there, made back in 2025. So a nice move right here for Rivian. But if we sort of, whoopsies, what have I done? If we sort of look at this again, you still do have some more movement here on Rivian. I'm just going to play around with this scaling here a little bit. You know, the high could, 28 would be real great. I mean, 28 is great. Not only does it rhyme, it would be a great spot, but this 24, 25 area, also a spot to be concerned about. So if we get into those levels, I think something to be said there about good old Rivian. Yeah, nice move there, Patrick. I really like that stock. And with the R2, you know, moments away, hopefully that should spark the stock. And I think that's what's in the stock right now. The FSD talk and the talk of the newest model coming to market, hopefully in 2026. So that's the R2 there. What's his name? Something Scringe there. RJ Scaringe.
Scaringe.
Many people think that he looks like Brendan.
His name sounds like a pirate name.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah, Marissa already ordered one. Yeah, so I already have the I already have the reservation in for that. The reservation, a couple $100, you know. Yeah, we're ready for Rivian. Taking out the day's high right now.
They take the reservation, but can they keep the reservation?
Yeah, no, not like Seinfeld.
That's the real problem, for sure. Oh, so
Seinfeld, Potty 3. I'm not allowed to do those.
That's top 10. Why can't? Oh, I can do it. You can't. Is that how the world works now? Yeah, I keep saying it, but that's the top 10 episode, the restaurant episode.
It's a great one.
So and Mike was saying that this name. Okay, I don't know this eras. I don't know much about it, but apparently it's going ham, and most of this volume occurred in the last 15 minutes or so. So I can tell you the tap is $6.30 on ERAS. Kind of looking to see what the story might be here that recently happened. And okay, so this morning at 8 a.m., Piper Sandler initiated coverage on them with an overweight rating. And for reasons that I'm unaware of, at about 2:48, it went from doing absolutely nothing for half the day to going crazy, halting up now a third time it looks like. So 6:44, the tap just moved up. So, I mean, if you're in it long right now, it looks like it's going to open up higher. So, you know, good luck, right? Like, I assume you're long because probably difficult to short this name. ERAS. Don't know the name of the company either.
That's Taylor Swift's Eras tour. So it's worth like $5 trillion.
It'd be worth everything
if $5 trillion.
Eraska Inc.
I think, Adara, you got news on this, or?
Yeah.
I have something on this. So I looked into this here on X, and a lot of people are associating this, for whatever reason, with that RVMD, that Revolution move. That, again, that's the company that's supposed to be acquired by what happened here with Eli Lilly. And so if you look yesterday, too, the same time that we had that move in that, sorry, not Eli Lilly, ABBV, but the reason I bring up Eli Lilly, that was because yesterday when we had that VTYX moving on talks that Lilly was going to acquire it, there was another company that was in the same space that also moved. Now, that company did not move to the extent that this ERAS is moving, but the point is, from what I'm seeing, this could be a sympathy play here or something like that with that RVMD. Back to you.
Okay, but that always makes sense. Like, what'll happen is
sympathy plays.
If you're like when you're basically just booping. They're all boosting their pipelines. These large pharma companies because of the patent cliff that's coming in. So there's just a boatload of things that are going generic in 2027 to 2027 to 2030, let's call it. And so as they're going through that, a lot of these names are going to start, trying to figure out what other things they can add to that pipeline. And if one company has a drug at a phase 1, then ABBV might say, oh, well, there's another company that maybe they're at phase 2 with a similar drug, or they've already got something which is close to approvals, and then you'll see a sympathy play. And people start speculating, well, if they like this one, I can try to figure out what the next one's going to be. Just understand that can get pretty nasty as well. And oddly enough, I'll give credit where credit is due. That was something Pharma Boy was pretty solid at. Like, I remember there was a couple of times I trade some buyouts. There was a couple of times like a deal would get announced, and you'd see him comment on a biopharma and be like, these companies could be next kind of deal. And then it's like, hey, you look back and it's like, hey,
you got it. I mean,
he knew his pharma stuff.
I wonder why he's called Pharma Boy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's not. What is it now?
Quantum Kid.
Yeah, he's not.
He was completely wrong on, but it has come back. I think you have to be careful when you're calling tops and bottoms on names that are going parabolic, because, it's easy for us to say, like, right now, like SNDK, I think is a good example, right? I mean, I heard Obi talk about it, you and I have talked about this. At some point, this is going to absolutely collapse. But, like, if you were thinking about that at some point other than today, you've been wrong. I mean, it's only gone upside. And, you might have thought that, okay, when this was spun off from WDC, that was, $30, $50, $70. Okay, well, now it's getting a little bit insane. Right now it's up $110. Okay, well, it was just at 93. Now it's at 110. Well, it's got to slow down, right? Well, how about, Ben, about a month later, it's at 210. It doubled in a month. Well, it's not going to double again, is it? Well, that's what we're trying to do right now. So, at some point, this is going to happen again, but it's about timing. And that's why we always say the hedge funds. And, when you get names like HKD or names that go absolutely parabolic, they always come back in because somebody is shorting every single pop that is not getting stopped out, that have deeper pockets than you. And at some point, they're going to be laughing because the market comes back in and their price will be right. So it's just a matter of outlasting some of the bids into these spaces. And look, I mean, these names, these chip names and RAM names are going up on reasons, and they're legitimate ones. So it's just a matter of eventually someone's going to dig in, put a downgrade on this, and then it's all she wrote. And we saw WDC, part of that happening today. So their downside. And then Derek, could you please remind me why Western Digital is down today? Did they catch that downgrade finally here today? But it started right away, right off the open. I could always check our...
I am not seeing a downgrade for WDC.
Yeah, isn't that weird? So that's what I'm saying. So it's a straight downside. And yeah, no, I see in the chat, yeah. HKD is completely an example. They don't even, remember we tried to look up their office and it was like a little shack in the side road in China or
it looked like a convenience store.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, and the next thing you know, it was like a $3 trillion, a couple $100 million company, and nobody even knew what the hell it was. It was like a holding company. So
congratulations to the hedge funds that shorted the you-know-what out of it because they had those pockets. Like, it's the thing, like you need to get those, you need to be, and it is what it is. It's kind of like the whole roulette thing. If you can just constantly like double down, that's what they do on those moves. And nothing can stop them outside of like a GME type of moment. And kudos to Roaring Kitty for sniffing some of that kind of stuff out. I just saw this comment, so I'm going to throw it up here and say that none that I can see jaywalking. And very likely on CoreWeave, if you're, like, you could be watching an individual stock like CoreWeave and it's like, what's happening? It's breaking down. Now the market just kind of technically lost a bit. So when that happened, I feel like a lot of names that might have been doing nothing or were just cruising probably caught a bit of a stray. So I think it's nothing more than that. On CoreWeave, the trend got broken, and it's now probably headed back in. That's just my Rivian 3-month chart. That's hilarious to look at. So yeah, this one's been trending slightly down after getting destroyed on their earnings. Or not their earnings, on their, well, I mean, the earnings haven't been good, but the bounce off this IPO breakout has been the only support that CoreWeave has had, right around $60. So with only 20 minutes till it bounces, SoFi is trying to come back in here, but like VWAP's going to be at 26.8, and it just pulled back into this high on the 15, put a bit of a turn on, and then confirmed the lower high. But it's with 20 minutes to go, it's going to end up being a scalp trade. So I'm sitting on the bid. It's starting to come back in. This is the market's coming back in here. Probably that's the reason. Yeah, the market's starting to accelerate, so this SoFi trend break is happening. I mean, we can easy cut SNDK and investment account.
We can both answer this. So I actually put it in the chat there, so thank you, easy peasy. I just said trim. I've already said this before. You know, like I got out of some Palantir at 175. I got out of Intel some today as well. It's just like when you get these kind of moves like that on SNDK, easy peasy, I would just trim some. You're never going to go wrong trimming a little bit. Exactly. And it's just like you can't, there's always going to be other opportunities. And that's about all I could say. It's, you just don't want that money to disappear because, and I don't think it will. I don't think it's one day you're going to be down, you know, 10% might be. You saw WDC today for no reason down 9%. So I would say a 9 or 20% haircut maybe in that. And it just depends on how much you have in there and what your conviction is. I'm just saying from a technical side of things, both Neil and I, of course, are not financial advisors or anything. I would seek your own advice. But if I was going to give it to somebody or my own account, on SNDK, I think it's overextended. All right, Micron, I was getting out on this break of 338. It almost happened there, so watch out. We already took another piece out basically on the lows right here of the day for Micron. And again, these lows are pre-market, so this is the market low, and we just bounced off there, the intraday market. So 337.20s, we just bounced off of it. Happy to clear a little bit more out on that, and we will empty out the clip if and when that does come out. Yeah, Patrick, man, I mean, Palantir was awesome apparently, and you're mentioning here how great it was today. Palantir was a monster today and yesterday. I said if it makes over 180, it can rip. It ripped $7. Thank you, Patrick, for that. And yeah, there it goes, man. There's that 180 take, and boom. Look at this 50-period moving average. How good is that there today? So you're always, the dream of mine, I go to, you know, I'm at the gym, I'm working out, I'm dreaming of finding trending plays similar to this. And we found one today, so good look there, Patrick. And then look what happens when it breaks the 50 period, straight down the other way. We all have different things we look at on our charts, but that's a good one there.
My trading dream is always the same one these days. it's that the futures, that there's some kind of a flash crash,
Yeah.
or that the futures go to that like limit down, and then I just find something I like, and I'm just like, oh yeah, baby, and I'm just lighting the bid up. Like I always.
But what would be one that you, if you could think about it right now? Let's just say the futures cracked like 5% out of nowhere right now.
Like
Like what would be the first symbol you type in?
Well, what usually happens, because this is what happened on the Liberation Day thing. I remember I turned to you and I was like, it ended up being not Warner Brothers. It was
I don't think
Walgreens. It was Walgreens Boots Alliance. And what was happening was Walgreens was getting bought cash.
Right.
And it was literally getting bought cash for $11.40 plus a CVR. So meaning more than $11.40. And it tanked to like $10. And I'm like, this is free money. Like it's like even if the market continues to crash, like Walgreens still gonna get bought. Like it's like whatever, even if you have to hold it for a while. So like it's like that. Usually, if there's nothing that makes that type of a move, then my first thought is who's cash heavy, like an Apple. Like I want it to be cash generating. Like where's the first place people look to buy the dip? It'll usually be something like that. But yeah, if you can find something which makes no sense that's going down and catching strays, that's the free money opportunity.
I always want that.
Like on that Liberation Day bottom, it was easily Walgreens.
It's all going to crash down, says Jay Dizzle. You may be right. What's up, Adara?
I just want to let you guys know here, NFLX dropping a bit here. It is worth noting Charles Gasparino, who is a Fox business contributor. He was on the forefront of a lot of this tariff reporting around Liberation Day, and he's also been very involved in reporting the Warner Brothers situation. He just reported that apparently bankers he's speaking to are confused by Warner Brothers' confidence that their NFLX deal is going to go through. Apparently, from what he's heard, I guess he first reported this a couple weeks ago, but he's bringing it up again now. Apparently, talk within the White House suggests that beyond the usual DOJ antitrust review of this Netflix deal with Warner Brothers, if this goes through, they could put Netflix's entire streaming business model under review for a possible lawsuit. So again, I guess more potential issues here with this NFLX WBD deal than we were initially thinking. Again, this is reported by Charles Gasparino. Now, before we send you back to Sean and Neil, I do want to let you guys know the third and final infographic here for a schedule for CES 2026 today for these public companies. It's out now. Some companies that are doing events after the bell include, I think probably the biggest one here is going to be this 640 to 740 event here with Uber and Lucid. It's called Road Rules Governing the Global Shift to Autonomy. So keep an eye on these stocks between 6:40 and 7:40 p.m. Eastern. That event probably the biggest one that stands out at me right now. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. Lockheed now down 5%.
Yep, still going.
It's still falling here. Raytheon was down only 2 points. Boeing's down 1%. It's not that bad for Boeing. You know, like this is Lockheed's really getting hit. It seems like the most out of these defense names. So it's getting pretty real, but maybe you give it that 3-day rule. There's probably a good bid that'll come in. Like the same way that we overreacted with some of the oil names, maybe you get an overreaction here, and then it ends up a buying opportunity. Just kind of double checking. Whatever. It's not like I suspected that the ABBV was going to give you a real dip buy. They're not going to be as affected by this, but if they had been, I'd be a buyer. I'm a buyer of these guys this year, but literally not moving. Sometimes, well, I mean, it's moving, but it's not really moving, still up on the day. Sometimes you get an opportunity when you get news like this for something that you were already looking to buy, and then it just comes right into your price. But not going to happen with ABBV. Looks like SoFi is catching a bid at the morning range high and this support level, and it's 337. All right, one more leg out at this price, and then we'll wait for the volume weighted average price to come in here on SoFi. So a bit of a turn, but there's not that much time for it to get past VWAP anyways, so you'll take what you can get. Ooh, I like this one. Universal Codes just said Nike is at a great buying spot. I haven't looked at it. Ooh. Oh, this is not what I haven't looked at it today. This is not what I was expecting to see. If you were going to say it's at a great buying spot, I thought it was going to be over and trying to break this 200 period moving average, because I think that gets really spicy for Nike. Instead, Nike's losing the 50 period here. Yuck. I think it's trying to make a bottom. I just wanted to break in the 200 period moving average, and I think that's going to be a trade if it does, but not today. Nike down 3 points. Why? Can't even think of a reason.
I don't know, man.
why.
I mean, we had Timmy Cook recently buying that as well as Elliott there. But my guy over here, yeah, SoFi today, we just had one trade. It was the #1 trade on the stick. You know, we traded it short through 27 and then tried to get it again, and it broke. So short there early, got 26.50s, and then back and forth there. Joe might like this for his picks because he's going to get a little bit of a discount today on JP Morgan. That's down 2.5%. So, you know, JP Morgan, I think it's next Tuesday, so a week yesterday, we're going to start earnings season. JP Morgan gets hit on earnings. You know, the last time I believe this was something like an earnings, wouldn't have been November, would have been here in September. So I believe that was their earnings right there. So we'll have to wait to see if there's anything going on there with, just hearing Apple in our ear or something. Waiting to hear if there's anything. Something about Apple and JP Morgan. I don't hear anything. Okay. We'll see if, JP Morgan reaching. It's all the guys waiting to hear. Nothing. Okay, 85.75, something about, it's the Goldman Sachs and Apple, they canceled their credit cards. So I believe JP Morgan taking over that account. I think that's what it is. So I don't think that's a big deal. Uber right there, downside. I think, you know, anything like that would be a good situation for JP Morgan. They can obviously manage credit risk, and I'm sure their credit department is monstrous. So I think that they would welcome the business of Apple Pay and Apple credit card and however that works out. I just attach my Visa to my Apple and just tap everything. So I don't know who gets money out of that, but there it goes. 86 Visa, obviously $86 right there for Uber just broke. Wow, Uber's back to 86, eh? A lot of
Uber was having a good day.
Well, it was.
I guess everything was happening.
Wow, Uber got to $88? I didn't even realize. I thought Uber was getting cranked, man. That's actually a pretty good look there for Uber. All right, like we bought some at 84 most recently there. I'm not sure if we bought any at 80. I'd have to double check. But yeah, nice move there today up to the 200 period. That's kind of like a death cross that I don't believe in, but right there it makes one there to the downside. That would have been a death cross there to the upside for Uber, but right there, downside death cross. So we'll have to wait to see if that, you know, is true support or resistance. It looks like $88. So where did we get? Yeah, right off the open, 88, and we touched it again at 1 o'clock. So wow, Uber, okay. I want to put that on the radar tomorrow. I didn't actually realize Uber had sort of got going like that.
No, I know Joe was Joe, he's gone. I know Joe was trading. I turned around to see if he would just shake his head, but I'm pretty sure he was trading Uber there. We just got another, he was. We just got another super chat from David. We'll throw it up right now. Never rooting for downturns, I'm with you. Just feelings. And anyone who ever copies me in the chat, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is just ideas and fun. I think look, everyone's just throwing ideas out, and then I think it's always valuable to give your thought process. You know, like that's where you get the real learning from. Like, okay, well, I like this and I like it here technically because this and this other thing did this in the past or whatever it might be. So thanks, David. Appreciate it. We have lots of great ideas in this channel, or even just the places you want to put your eyeballs to, like that era stock. Now I'm going to think Taylor Swift every single time. Oh man, so it did open. It did go higher, Mike. Hopefully that was good for you. I couldn't make this up. I pull up the stock and it instantly halts to the downside. It was already falling. I wasn't even planning on going to this, and then the conversation took us there. So ERAS is halted to the downside. Remember, they were a sympathy play for that RVMD, which is close to being bought by ABBV, apparently. So ERA is halted down. It's 342, so it might actually still open back up in 5 minutes, indicating a 495.
Rob Van Dam. RVD.
It's wild. That is one of the greatest kind of like weird coincidences that RVD actually looks like he could be related to the dude and he isn't. It's pretty remarkable.
I love Apple. Like, so someone just tried to call me there, went right into spam or whatever, and they left a message. And of course, this probably happens on all the phones. But instead of me listening to it, it actually just transcripts it here. It goes, hello, this is Rogers Telecom. Your mobile number will be canceled. I don't even have a mobile number with Rogers. I love when that happens. Like the banks, you know, it's like, oh, this is blah, 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 calling from delete, report spam. Okay, see you. You know, it's like, This is like your bank for a CIBC, for example, and it's like, okay, well, my EMT didn't go through because I don't bank with you. I won't be calling you back. Just be careful with all those scams out there.
The email
Take care of the old people.
Oh, the email scam I've been getting a ton of. It's like, first of all, we're Canadian and we're in Canada.
Wait, what?
But like during election time, and I don't even know where it comes from, I get all kinds of email stuff like, make sure you come out to this and that, and I won't get it. It's just ridiculous.
This
I'm like,
event
I'm
and that
Canadian.
event.
Like, what is going on here? First of all, I'm not American. I can't vote. It is what it is. It's just they get rampant, which does bring us to, this has nothing directly to do with it, but anyone notice that CrowdStrike's up 5% today? I know Joe notices. He must have his headphones on. He's not paying attention. But CrowdStrike, 200 period moving average, bounce, baby, bounce. You always got to like that 200 period moving average on a quality company. Another bounce there. 5 points today. We'll see what it can do tomorrow. That is the theme that is going to continue working. You want a place where spending ain't going down? That's where you got it.
My house?
For sure. Well, I mean, that's always true. So government spending doesn't go down. In a general sense, military spending never goes down. Certainly, right now, you're not going to have any less spending in cybersecurity. Oh, I just trailed out of 5 minutes to go. Nothing's really changed on the imbalance locator. Although I don't know what ELME is. That's now a sell of 1.6 million, so maybe that's something. Never heard of the stock. I just trailed out of SoFi. It doesn't get all the way into VWAP. Maybe there just wasn't enough time. So it bounces off that higher low at 26.9. I just moved my trail to here as it was close to 350. So we'll jump out of that one. Not nearly as volatile as it was yesterday, obviously. And maybe a chance at this could actually be a bit of a break potential tomorrow. The fact it held trend most of the day could break out the 27.2 or 27.25 potentially for tomorrow. Definitely worth a watch. But with 5 minutes to go to the imbalance, it pretty much wraps it up unless one of these things here gets interesting. BMNR just popped up, almost 2 million to sell.
Yeah, that's going to be a good little look there. We saw Ethereum was down 2% plus. All right, well, what's helping the expenditures here would be a target long, and right there, that was a good idea. We're long in the 80s on target. I put a tweet out that we talked about this in October there when it was down into this level. So there's a tweet out there where I told everybody that I was buying into some target. We were able to get more right there in November. We did not. The first time when we initially bought it, it does go back up to that $100 mark. But right now, Target's on a nice run. So look at Target go, man. Almost at our area. I'm going to look at this tonight. Possibly get have to get something out. That's just part of what I do. Get something out at the first sort of area of possible concern. So for me, on target right there, that trade was on target. Lulu is also a stock here. We're talking a little bit. I'm like, look, man, I went over to the cannabis space. We're going to go into the retail space. We talked about Rivian, some EVs and stuff like that. So Lululemon, man, we bought some at 205 before earnings right here. That one day, and that dropped down, and then we were lucky enough to do our 3-day rule on this thing and bought some at 160, giving us an average price of around 180 or so on Lululemon, and there it goes, man, nicely shooting up to the upside, right around the 200 period moving average. So that's been a good little retail trade as well. While meanwhile, Costco going the other way. So we've chose our horse in the race. My horse would be Costco or Walmart, but recently we like the bump up there in Target. I like it in Lululemon, possibly both getting to areas of concern for possible resistance. So we'll be getting out some of those as well. That was not a call for Adara, was it?
It was, actually.
Then let's go.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, in case you forgot, Applied Digital reporting after the bell. How do I prepare for this report? I have you guys. It's on XOTTV Research. Here's our earnings preview for APLD. This is the CEO, a man named Wes Cummins. Lots of positive analyst ratings on this. All the ratings I could find recently on this are all buys, with price targets ranging from the mid-30s to the mid to high 40s. Nice look there. Again, XOTTV Research for this visual. For what it's worth, analysts are expecting the company to post revenue of just under $76 million, losses of 9 cents per share. Now, last quarter, they actually did report debt of $687.3 million. So the lack of money making is still an issue for this company. Back to you.
It's a lot of debt. Good luck, Wes.
Wes, y'all.
Tonight is, hey, earnings season. I mean, it really starts with the banks, but somebody around here probably is involved in APLD. There was always somebody involved in just about any name out there. That said, we did get a super chat in here from Joshua Dixon. Great show. I need SMH to go lower. Can't help you with that. They're going to do what they're going to do. I got some Jan 9, 2026, 385 puts.
Jan 9,
trying
okay.
to get rid of. That's like expiring at the end of this week. What does your tech analysis say? Man, okay, that's literally expiring.
Well, you're at the money now.
Yeah, it's right at 385, but you needed to get down much lower than that. Well, there's nothing technically outside of the fact, well, we put in a new high and there's a red day. There's not too much to technically glean because it's still upward trending. However, on the 15-minute, on a 15-minute, what I would see is a lower consolidation. So it does look like maybe we're in a bit of a roll. Like there's your fail of the high and then a bit of a trend down. Just got to break a little bit of support. The problem is you just need this to happen right away. Grasping at straws. Like, would I be instantly looking for SMH short based on this? Probably not. It doesn't seem distinct enough. I'd probably lean 60-40 that it looks like a short more than a long, but that's not that definitive. But good luck. Good luck to you on that. For sure. I mean, I'd say that you're better than 50-50. It seems like that we could get a breakdown of this support level and maybe get down to 80s, but yeah. When it's in an upward trend, it's kind of a tough task. That's a tough task.
All right, 30 seconds to go right now. We got out of all of our shorts, man, and they're all starting to go a little bit higher here as the market rebounds. Google's the one that's down to VWAP. That one still has not caught that real bid yet on Google, but Micron's back upside again. We had covered that around 338. That's at 339 right now. And then Intel, I shouldn't say they're all back up. Intel's still at 4250, so that was a cover there on the 200 period. Now we're out. All right, so what's going on here? There's Intel with a buy, so that starts that move. WBD with a buy, nothing going on there. It seems pretty small, man. The Treasury is TLT. We're not expecting that to move. FXI, interesting there for China concerns or whatever, down 1.52% today as potentially China not going to receive shipments of the H200. All right, I'm not really seeing anything else on here that would be of any interest. Bank of America, wouldn't even talk about that today. We saw JP Morgan and all these banks downside today. So I don't know what's up with that. With earnings coming a week from yesterday, we'll see how that all prints out. There's ASTS. So Astis Mobile had a nice move yesterday and a bad one today, down 11%. That was on our watch list today as well. But yeah, that's it. FCX with copper. A little bit there. That was down today, 1.2%. That name, obviously working to the upside as well. So yeah, man, that's about it for now. Apple, want to check out what they were doing, 260. Yeah, Apple's, that's too bad. This is another name that's down about 10% from its most recent all-time highs, which was made about a month ago. So Apple is even worse than whatever that other stock was I was talking about. They've had 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4. Remember that one stock I was like, there's been three days or something? But anyway, this is only 4 days, man. 4 days out of the last 20 are green. Apple getting absolutely clocked. Or flushed.
I think it's just this whole, they're just passing the baton, man. Like one Mag 7 name gets enough out of favor that it's not doing anything as the others go, and then people take profits on the Apples and whatever, and then Amazon starts going. So Amazon was doing nothing and stunk for a bit, and it's like they're rotating within the Mag 7 sometimes now, it seems like, for sure. I just saw someone in the chat say, what is going on with RVMD? All right, there is... So just, you know what, I'm going to keep it on the daily chart because I had to make this point very clear. So ABBV is apparently in late stage talks to buy RVMD. There has been no price speculation. And I'm putting out the daily chart just to point out that this stock has been rallying rather heavily going into this. So when you start thinking about what the premium could be, just because it's only 30% now, well, the stock was up 250% from September of last year. So, 200% from September of last year going into this. So when they start looking at where to place a premium, they often say what is a 30-day or a 90-day moving average of the stock, and then the premiums on top of that. So it might not end up, if there's a deal announced tomorrow, it might not be 50% from yesterday. It might be 50 or 60% or 70% from somewhere back here or somewhere back here. Just keep that in mind. before you start gambling on this one going higher. But it is going higher. Fresh highs at 105. And Adair brought this to us. I mean, you could have bought the dip here. I never feel that comfortable doing it because did that in an afternoon show a couple of years ago, and it was on Southwest, I believe. And guess what they did? There was a rumor of them getting bought, and it was trending up. And it was absolutely fine, and it was trading just normally, and everyone knew it was just a rumor at that point. And then they halted the stock, news pending, overnight. And as a day trader, stuck overnight. What happens? No confirmation of the deal, gaps down, and lose 4 figures. I'm never doing it again. So you can trade those at your own risk, because if you get caught in a halt and you're a day trader, like you don't even trade out of it. Like you just get flattened in the morning. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, be careful holding things overnight and looking for news stories. Pre-market trading is very dangerous, regardless of the style. It's supposed to make sure your stop orders work too in pre and post market. We talked about also making sure that you know your broker, and that was part of the talk that they had about simulation trading. Know what orders can get accepted and not accepted, and which gateways are the ones to use at which appropriate time. But so those imbalances not really creating anything in this. Well, Comcast showing up right now, the 2.5 million share bid. You can see Comcast right now back up to its day's high as, again, a lot of the old legacy TV channels broadcasting. I don't know about Comcast. FXI. Yeah, it's all the same story there. Ford has been great, man. Ford up to $14. This is part of my look here tonight. I got to sell some of these Ford shares, man. Okay, Intel's still there. There's your ABBV. There's Tesla. We can have a quick look at Tesla. Wow. All right, man. Micron's one of the only ones that's actually gone up out of all the shorts that I had. Tesla remember, it was up. We talked about it, man. I showed you the car, everything like that. But look at that. How good was this 437.50 area, man, on Tesla today? Every single time, except for once, it went down. Wow, Tesla stock's getting murdered here into the close. Sorry about the language, but wow, we are getting hit pretty violently right now. And I
thought this was a potential break.
I'm just more reacting to this. I don't know if this is what is happening right now. There's a lot. Okay, I think it's just Tesla. I don't really see anything else going downside. We did have Google short. Oh man, that was a great short upside there.
NVIDIA's not moving.
No, I just looked at NVIDIA's not moving. Apple sometimes can move the market. Apple is going down, but I think it's just a dramatic look on Tesla. That's that just looks bad.
Like Palantir's down, but Palantir's been down since that defense headline from President Trump.
I'm not worried about Palantir.
Adair?
Yeah, Adair, what's up?
I was going to say here, not news, but it is worth noting here, Tesla's not the only stock to get hit. A lot of these stocks that were already to the downside, especially those that had catalyst earlier today, just keep pushing lower. Caterpillar, of course, was on watch today with its event at CES. It announced an NVIDIA partnership. It is breaking new day's lows. LMT not quite at new day's lows, but again, sharply to the downside with that defense story. So if a name was weak earlier today, there's a decent chance it's probably pushing lower right now. That's the vibe I'm getting, again, with a lack of news to explain this move. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Adair. The Q's right back to flat. So they're just barely, look at this. It was like a triple bottom on the way to the upside and just a super strong day for the Nasdaq versus the ES. And then you're right back into the lows. Here's the SPY. The SPY not having a very good day at all. You can see just completely capitulating there. I mean, a lot of it, look, you saw what happened to the defense names, right? So, you're going to get some outsized moves to the downside. That LMT is looking nasty. For sure. I think there might be an opportunity on some of these. If you got to pick the one that you like the best and give it a couple of days, and then maybe we've overreacted and it's not as big of a deal as you think. I was kind of hoping ABBV would have gone down, but it didn't. So the one I want to buy more of is not giving you a dip as a defense name. Maybe Raytheon will be a good opportunity in the next couple of days after that truth post by the president going after dividends and buybacks for defense contractors until they build more faster.
Yeah, I think he'll probably walk that back a little bit, but maybe not. Okay, so just to do a broader look here, it's only 2 minutes left. The Nasdaq, as Neil just said, zeros. I believe the ES also zeros right now, if not a little lower. Yeah, 0.38. So the ES actually cracked a lot lower, and when we say the ES, of course, we mean the S&P 500. So today, I didn't even realize that. I'm thankful to Adair for bringing this up. What in the heck? These manufacturing stocks today, what a bloodbath. Yeah, what the hell is even going on here? Where's that? Oh, my favorite one is the Trump one. Now we have Andre on there. The Trump one that, what are you saying? Relax, dude. Can we get that one?
Okay.
Come on, yeah, this was, come on, guys, or whatever it is. That's a funny one. If you can find that, maybe Fabian can help you because he was hitting it a bunch last week right there. But yeah, GEV downside there. That's going to be a power play. Come over to the, don't worry about it.
Emotional damage.
Close,
That's
but
the only new one. It's the only new one.
Oh, you hit that one. Okay. Yeah, GEV. Come to my screen here, and don't worry about it, Andre. Well, I'll find out which one that is. Caterpillar down 4.3% right there, so that's not a good name. And it's a great name, but today I forgot about that at CES, and sometimes. There it is. There it is. I like that one. Yeah, but Meta and IBM, I really like international business machines. I think that should be something in everybody's portfolio. I know it was one of Neil's picks last year. I really, really like that name. Google, the ETF of tech, says my friend Joe. So that's working today. They got a huge bump. That was the only long on my board there, which turned out to be a short for me. What am I even doing? That's about it for the technology. And then today, the banks obviously getting hit as well. I mean, there's not even a green look in here somewhere. That's a CBOE green there, but everybody else getting slapped around there with only a minute left. Yeah, there it is. Can't stop. There's too much winning happening over here, President Trump. And look, man, the market is 1 day away from all-time highs.
Yep.
We were at all-time highs yesterday in the S&P 500 and in the Dow. So a drip down of 0.5% today. I was like Justin Timberlake.
And those industrial names,
Cry me a river.
I think they're all so strong.
Yeah,
but there's no harm in trimming some of those too. I trim some GEV, but the idea with that is oftentimes picking your way to get back into a full position, because what will happen is you trim and then you don't get the dip, and then you don't look as smart as you did when you sold some at the highs, and that's happened to me so far on GEV a little bit. As we have only 3 seconds to go, it's hump day, and the market was green and now she's red. That's not a very good close. Come on now. Oh, never mind. The Nasdaq closes up 0.01% technically. So the Nasdaq actually ends up green. The ES and the SPY is what is to the downside. And you just saw why. Sean just told you why. Because tech wasn't as bad as defense and industrials. I mean, it's mostly industrials. The bank's also not very good. But hey, sometimes profit taking is a bit of a thing. Now, the big headline, of course, is going to be some of these defense names. How do they react tomorrow? I think it might be an overreaction, but we'll give it a day or two. See if we can't find something to buy. I
actually noticed this morning. I don't know if this has anything to do with the market going down here, but this is actually updated yesterday. This was about 15%. I think it was 16% or so chance of a rate cut. That's gone down again there today. So obviously the market was up. I mean, it wasn't really being too affected by any of these plays, but there it is, 88% right now that our current 350 to 375 holds. So we're okay right now on the rate cut. That's January the 28th. So, all right, guys, look, thank you. What a great show again. I mean, I know we say that every day, but we're always having a good time, and I can tell by the chat, everybody also enjoyed themselves today. And look, whether or not you made or lost money, it's always tomorrow. So, review your charts, review your trades, get a plan of action. Join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. when we will talk all about whatever's moving, man. Get our watch list as well. Shreve's Morning Note will be back next week, so that should be exciting there. We love you too, Hyperstagflation, and thanks for watching. I don't know if we have there. Thanks to Obi.
Mike the Rider, it's 8 o'clock.
Come on, Mike Peter Rider.
Come on now.
Well, he was probably wishing it was 8:15.
Not you.
These guys. All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Adara. Thank you, Obi. Thank you, Joe, Brendan.
APLD.
Ramin, everybody right now. APLD with earnings. Yeah, trying to go upside here as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Adara. Thanks, Neil. Good day there. All right. Have a good one, man. Wednesday. Anything going on? My daughter's got a workout. Oh, swimming. Good.
Oh, nice.
Like that. Yeah. My daughter's at F45, and swimming is great. My son actually passed a couple weeks ago, level 10, whatever.
Nice. He's going to do the lifeguard.
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah. So he's now passed the lifeguarding thing, so we're really happy for him. He can, I don't think he can be, he's 13 now. I don't know if he can be employed.
I think he'll be a certain age.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but he's ready to go.
He's got to be 14 or 15.
Interested in Caterpillar tomorrow. Could be exciting.
You just don't want to work at a water park. We had one of our friends from high school.
No, I want to work for the city.
Worked at a water park. It is the worst lifeguard job ever.
Why? I thought
she hated it.
Why, I wonder?
It was I won't say who it was. No, it was just kids are always messing with you.
Yeah.
And it's just a worse way to water park.
I thought working at one of those
The city one,
yeah, because you get the pay, you get the sort of the job security there. Anyways, yeah. I told him, I said, look, if you're gonna do any job, man, be a lifeguard. You get some good views, you get the nice weather, nobody ever drowns.
Preferably in South Beach, but you know.
Knock on wood.
Just
Knock
saying.
on wood.
I had to choose. That's where I'd be a lifeguard.
All right, yes, thank you everybody. It's 4:03. We'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's Trader TV Live. You've already know that. It's the best spot to be at, and we'll check you all tomorrow at 8 a.m. Ciao, ciao.